So, I have decided to start a new classic series because my old one was very weirdly structured. And in this series, I'm starting in Classic 0.0.13a Dev 1, which is one of the earliest developer builds. It's a developer build that's actually available in the launcher, unlike most others. And I chose this version because it generates this big flat landscape, which sort of gives me a sort of a blank canvas to build stuff on. Sorry, I seem a little sick or something. I don't know. And so I'm just going to start building, well, sort of digging out like a lake area. It's not really going to be a lake until we get to the next version, which will probably be 0.0.14a_08. Because that's when water starts flooding into existing worlds. And I have a Betacraft add-on called offline dat save rather, which will allow me to keep the same world between all these versions. Though actually I don't really know how well to work with dev builds like this one. Also, this version is most known for its really long worlds, but I'm not doing a long world because it has a whole lot less space than a regular world that can be generated in this version. Like, if you just start up the world, start up the game, and there hasn't been a world generated, you can generate just a normal-sized world. So this is a very stripped-down version of the game with just a couple block types available. And there's water. And I think there are caves underground, if you can get them to actually generate, but, or if you can find them rather. And I'm not starting in a cave game like in my previous sort of thing, because the only reason I have grass in my previous world is due to an outdated speculation where there was supposedly a May 14th build that allowed you to place grass. But it is most likely that that version doesn't really exist, because Notch was watching Star Trek with Ez on the 14th. So I thought while I'm digging this big hole, I'd share some like fun trivia about some of the older Minecraft versions. So Minecraft began as a sort of testing isometric renderer by Notch called RubyDung that was originally going to become its own sort of Dwarf Fortress-like game. But Notch sort of got burnt out on that idea, and so he stopped working on it. What did inspire him, though, was a game he found called Infiniminer, and so he decided to take RubyDung in more of an Infiniminer-ish direction. Infiniminer was like a block-based mining and building game, or at least it was originally a competitive mining game, but its community sort of turned it into a building game once it became open source. But it wasn't really designed for building, and Notch wanted to use the RubyDung sort of code base and the sort of feel in order to make more of a like a game that's better for just building stuff in that sort of style. And that eventually became the cave game tech test video that exists on YouTube and is of the earliest version of Minecraft for which we have video evidence. Now, that version is lost, but the version right after it, which added building, is not lost. And was actually found on Ez's computer, as is Notch's. I don't know if she was Notch's wife yet, or if she. I don't know what their relationship status was in 2009. I think I'm just gonna say partners. But Ez was close friends with Notch, and Ez had those versions for playtesting purposes. And that's why we have them today. I am not playing in one of those versions, though. And the reason for that is because the original version that we do have from May 13th, when you upgrade the world to a later version, all the blocks turn to stone, which just looks boring. So that is why I'm starting in this slightly later version. This 0.0.13a developer build was made to test world sizes, which is why if you regenerate the world, it'll look all weird and long. And this was one of the first versions of Minecraft Classic, which was the original alpha version of the game, hence the A in the version number, which indicates alpha. So, yeah, that is basically if I'm catching you up on all the details of the earlier versions, and they just implemented features that you can see now. The most recent addition as of this version was water, which actually came from the very previous version, 0.0.12a. We don't... And there's actually a developer build of 12a showcased on Notch's channel showing an early prototype for the water. We don't have that dev build, but NASCO has recreated it if I ever want to show it off. But I don't really see much point to, given it's just 12a with opaque water. Just so you know, this will not be related to any Sulfur Network, Entity 303 kind of stuff. It'll just be my own world. I might build references to it, but it's not part of the lore. I'll probably be posting my lore to my Sojourner Alt channel. If I make any. So now, I am finally done with the first layer. You see, the 0.0.13a dev 1 actually generates the terrain one block above water level, meaning in order to create the lake I want, or, well, the shore, rather, I'm going to have to dig out another layer. Luckily, this time, it doesn't need to be quite as big, since I want a relatively large beach space. But by the end of this, I'll have clicked enough times that if I was playing Cookie Clicker, I would have enough money to buy a mine or 6 farms. And that just gave me the idea for what I want to do next in this world. I want to build a mine, and I want to build 6 farms. So I have yet to build any project that covers an entire classic world, and I think I know why. It's because the 2 times I've tried to do that, the first time I got burnt out by it being a stone world from Ruby Dung 13.23.28. And the second time, it's because I would have had to place in all the grass manually and sort of terraform the world. And I am of course still planning to play on that world. It's the world from my previous classic series, but it won't be my main world. Anyway, I'll see you back when I finish mining this out. Oh, real quick, here's a little quirk with classic versions. The YouTube compression might hide it, but you may be able to see, like, some thin pink streaks in the background. Those are actually a result of the texture. I got an angle where a lot of them were visible. This is a result of the texture mapping. Yeah, you can see them right there. It's a result of the texture mapping algorithm sort of rounding stuff off weirdly. and resulting in the terrain.png placeholder texture being displayed where it shouldn't be. There was a bug in an earlier version, RD161348, where the particles would appear in the wrong place for a tick and then jump to the correct position. I think it was some sort of interpolation issue where the particles were being stored at like 0, 0. But I may be wrong. My hand is beginning to hurt with all of the clicking I've been doing. You know, I'm actually going to try to get some kind of auto-clicker. And see if it can replace what I'm doing with just my hand right now. Yeah, so I'm going to do that. Okay, if the recording was a little weird there and it just showed my paused game screen, it's because I had it's because my auto-clicker hotkey defaulted to F6, which is also my recording pause and resume recording hotkey, and so I had to switch it to be F8 instead. Hopefully F8 doesn't have some other purpose in Minecraft eventually. And so now you can see I am breaking blocks automatically. I'm actually breaking them quite a bit faster than I would just by clicking my mouse repeatedly. And I am breaking some blocks that are below the level I want, but that's fine. It's going to be all flooded with water anyway, so... And in fact, hang on. I just switched my auto-clicker to be even faster, so now it's more like insta-mining in modern Minecraft. And you can see how quickly I can dig out an area. with this setting set. Now with this setting set. In fact, I want to sort of head underground and test this out at some point to see how it works when digging out an area. So, the second layer is complete. This means that once we upgrade to the next version, the water should come flooding in. So that's basically how fast the mining is. But now I want to make an actual mine. So an auto-clicker doesn't work quite as well for building up large things, but I'll probably keep this here. So what I'm instead going to end up doing for the mine is I'm going to sort of make sort of a mine entrance. Maybe going into a little hut or something that, like a mine hut. This video is not sponsored. And then sort of have like the staircase down be from there, and I'm gonna model it after like traditional modern sort of branch mines in Minecraft, even though you're not actually mining for anything, we're just building this just because. Sort of looks like a metro station entrance or something. In fact, I might make it a metro if the mine idea doesn't work out that well. And yes, we have encountered our first naturally generated cave. You can see it sort of pokes up to the, like, to the dirt layer, but stops there, which is why we don't see any caves on the surface. But I encountered it while building this big mine shaft tunnel. And there's actually lava at the bottom, which is interesting. So, as you can see, I've dug out this big mine tunnel underneath, like, the world. It's rather boring because there aren't any ores in the game yet, but I'll probably spice it up once I get access to stuff like that, which I think will be 0.30. Or like 0.28 or something. Also, wow, after coming out of the mines, it's like really bright. Because of the way the lighting is. So now I need to build 6 different farms. Sorry, I just pressed the wrong number keys. So I'm gonna do like... And I'm gonna try to vary up their designs a bit. So the first farm will be sort of a regular looking crop farm. Of course, I would need to... I'm actually going to lower this by 1 because I want to be able to direct water in here eventually. So the water will end up in this sort of horseshoe shape. No! So, here is the farm. Just the regular crop farm done. And the reason it's low like this is because I plan to, like, direct some water over to it. In fact, I'm actually going to mine out the little passageway, sort of irrigation passageway. Irrigation canal, I guess. Out to the sea right here. And so hopefully once we get water spreading in from the outside of the world, this should fill up and we should have a nicely watered farm. Now the next farm I want to build is going to be an animal pen. Since there are no animals, so I guess I can, like, make it a Steve pen or something. Just as a placeholder. But I am going to make the walls 2 blocks high to prevent anything inside from jumping out unless it has the ability to break blocks. Like, I'm gonna put some dirt. I'm gonna put some cobble right here and some dirt. And grass. And there's a bunch of grass for the animals to eat or whatever. Then for the third farm, it's not going to be all that complicated. It's just going to be like one of those, like, trellis farm things. Like if you're growing Oh, my mic isn't on. So, sorry, my mic wasn't on there. But what I was meaning to say was that this is sort of like a farm where you would, like, grow, like, grapevines or something. Like this sort of, like, hanging sort of archway garden thing. And then the next one is gonna be an orchard, but since I want to wait until the update adds trees in order to build anything involving trees, I'm just gonna place a bunch of saplings as placeholders we can sort of imagine that they grew into trees once I actually update. But I plan on spending a little while longer on this version, so it's not going to be like one of those series where I like update every day or something. Yeah. Right now I'm out of ideas for farms. Probably the 5th and 6th farms will come to me eventually. Hello, Steve. Yeah, I'll probably wait until the update that adds things like leaves and logs to build any more farms, but I am going to plan to build 6 farms for this world. Now, that is probably all I want to do for now. So, I'll probably just see you in the next episode. Bye!